This is what you've all been waiting for. All right, WandaVision, episode 4. Yeah. And earlier this week, Elizabeth Olsen, she of course had another interview. Keep doing press every week. She's got to do press for the new episode. That's what she gets paid for. And she said, I can't wait till you all see this new episode because you're finally gonna see things from a different perspective. And at first, I thought maybe we were gonna see things from Vision's point of view, but no, we got the perspective from the people from the outside.
Exactly.
Mm. You know what? Because I can ramble on for hours. I'm gonna let you start it off.
Okay, so basically, at the beginning of the show, we see Rambo's perspective of what things happen, and we are in the first scene. We're in a hospital where apparently that was when she first disappeared during the snap, and basically she rematerializes again, and she's looking for her mom. And of course, her mom was in the hospital bed. She's not there anymore for obvious reasons. It's been a long time. And the type of feeling that the beginning of this episode gives you is a very different feeling.
It's
in
dark.
contrast, is a lot darker. It's a lot scarier and darker. People are like walking around, running around in desperation, and they don't know exactly what happened, so they're all like
To them,
flustered.
time hasn't, it's like, time hasn't,
Yeah.
they didn't know they disappeared.
Yeah.
So these
For all
people
they know, they just blinked and everything is different now.
yeah.
So, that she stumbles upon a doctor. She tells her exactly what happened. Apparently, her mom died of cancer. She was fighting cancer, but it came back, and now
She
she's
was
no
there
longer there.
getting treatment. She had just had a
Mhm.
surgery, I guess, getting it removed, and everything was good.
Exactly.
And that's when Monica disappeared. 5 years came back. Her time went on. Her mom actually died of cancer. Monica appears in the same place where she disappeared, where her mother just came out of the surgery and everything was good. And she's confused because the doctor's telling her mom's fucking dead. Wow. And didn't you
That's
say
crazy.
and you're so right. He said this off screen before we got online. He said that they did it differently here because the return of the people from the snap, what they call it in Spider-Man, the blip. From the blip, they made it
Yep.
funny in Spider-Man Homecoming. It was a funny,
Yeah.
like it was almost a joke. But
Yeah.
here in this fucking show, it was scary.
It was scary. It was very like, oh shit, I didn't think about it like that.
Yeah.
That is a scary situation right there for sure. So yeah, by contrast, is very different from the Spider-Man movie that we saw when the what is it called? What they called it, the blip?
The blip. They called it the blip.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, because
it
in the
happened.
Spider-Man, you saw like the kids were playing basketball, and then all of a sudden, other kids appear and they crash into them and shit. I mean,
Yeah,
that was funny, But
it
this
was funny.
obviously this was dark. It was scary. It kind of reminded me of The Walking Dead when it first started, when he's
Mhm.
at the hospital,
Yeah.
and he's thinking about how to save his friend, and he's like, "Fuck it," and he just locks the door and he runs
It's
away
pretty
like a
much the
fucking.
same thing as 28 Days Later. It was the same basic scene of 28 Days Later. But yeah, it gave me that same vibe of
Yes, like desperation and
uncertainty.
scary, like what the fuck's going on, like
Exactly.
it was definitely it was badass. So
Yeah,
the
so they give
episode
you that
started.
perspective.
Yeah, awesome.
Uh, from her point of view. Monica Rambeau, that's her name. Monica. I don't remember her mom's name, but she's the one that died. And
She
we
was
see her in
Captain Marvel.
the movie, in the Captain Marvel movie. So the little girl, that's Monica Rambeau. And now she apparently works for Sword, and she's an agent. And then the story develops, but we see other characters that we saw in other movies from different movies in the Marvel universe. I don't know if you want to talk about that.
Yeah, I mean we get to see Kat. Her real name's Kat Dennings, right?
Kat Dennings, yeah.
The character from Thor, the girl who's funny and talks a lot, and she's like, whatever, man, with the glasses. She comes out, and then we see Agent Wu from fucking the Ant-Man, the FBI. And basically, who else do we see? That's about it. They introduced some other dickheads, the brand new characters, I guess.
Well,
But
we mentioned Monica Rambeau. Her name is Tiona Paris, if I'm not mistaken, if I'm saying that right.
the actress,
Yeah, Tiona
okay,
Paris.
so then they take her. Like she wants to go out into space because it's Sword. Sword really is. They patrol space. They protect the Earth from outside threats getting in. That's their job. For
Mhm.
those of you who are not geeks, that's what Sword is. And so she wants to go back into space, and the guy in charge tells her like, "I'm sorry, you're grounded." And she's like, "What the fuck, motherfucker?" You know, she kind of wants to get pissed, but he tells her, "Look, this was the last thing your mom asked from us." And so then she's all like, "Okay," like she accepts
Yeah.
it. And so he's like, "Look, I'm gonna give you an assignment. It's a missing persons. uh, you're gonna go with an FBI agent. You know, do us proud." And she's like, "Oh, well, fuck it. You know, I'm just gonna honor my mom and just do her wishes. You know." And so she goes with Agent Wu. He's the one who the FBI agent is, and they
Who first
get
came out in Ant-Man.
in Ant-Man, and they get there and they meet some police officers. They're just there, and the police officers they're standing behind a sign that says Westview. And so she asks her about uh they asked the policeman about Westview, and they said Westview doesn't exist, and the town's right behind them. You can clearly
Mhm.
see it. I mean, you see the road, you see a bunch of houses, and they're all like, "What do you mean it doesn't exist?" And he goes, "No, there's never been a Westview." And they're all like, "Huh?" And then so like, "So where are you guys from?" They tell the policeman, and the policemen are like, "We're from Eastview." And they're all like, "Okay." So they're like, "Thank you, gentlemen." And the policemen get in their cop car and they fucking take off. So Agent Wu tells her like, "Hey, anybody who goes into that town and actually manages to come out, they have amnesia. They don't fucking remember what happened in that town." And so she's all like, "It's okay. Sword sent me. This is what we do." So she takes out a stupid little helicopter. And it's a drone. It's a drone, but it's a
Mhm.
helicopter. But right away, you know, that's the helicopter that Wanda got from the fucking bushes. I
Yep.
mean, now they're showing you the perspective from the very beginning about
Mhm.
what's going on the outside and how they're trying to get
Yeah.
in there in the bubble that
Yeah.
Wanda's made. And so they send their fucking little drone flying into the town and they see it disappear. Like, what the fuck? Where did it go? And so this chick starts walking towards it, and she goes like that, and she realizes like it's a bubble. Like once you get close to it and you put your hands, you see it. And so she's like, "Fuck it," and she starts sticking her hand in, and she gets sucked in. And Agent Wu's like, "Fuck!" And so you know, some I guess like we get some time skipping
Yeah, we see
and
some time lapping.
time lapping, and and they go and get all these nerds, and one of the nerds is Kat Dennings' character. I forget what her fucking name is from the Thor movies. And so she figures that
Darcy Lewis.
Darcy
Darcy
Lewis,
Lewis.
Darcy,
Yep.
yeah. So they go get Darcy, and because they need smart people to figure this shit out. Obviously, because Darcy is a main character technically now in this show, she's a main character. She was a side character in the movies, but in this show, she's a main character now. Um, she figures out what's going on. Apparently, there's waves coming out, and she catches the wave, and she's like, "This is a really old type of transmission." And she tells one of the guys, "Get me a TV, one that's squared, not flat.
One of those old TVs.
The ones we grew up with." Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So they go get her one of those TVs, and it starts catching the signal, and they start seeing the TV show that we've been seeing from the beginning. Excuse me.
Darcy Lewis starts to figure out some things. Apparently, these types of signals are the same type of signals that we used to get back in the day, which were television signals. Now those have been privatized by the government. Those no longer exist. Those are
Yeah,
for
we get digital signals now
yeah. Now it's a digital signal. It's
and fiber optics and shit.
a different type of broadcast.
They still use
Broadcasting
that
system.
signal for who knows what, dude.
Yeah, they say it was for emergencies, but we don't know. For all we know, we left that technology a long time ago, and they've been talking to aliens all this time.
Yeah.
Anyways, this is how she finds out, right? So she next things that she thinks is maybe we can try to transmit a signal of some sort and try to communicate with whoever's in there. So she tells Agent Wu to stand by right next to a microphone while she looks at the video and see what's going on, and try to intercept. Right. So this is the part where she is arguing with the blonde lady that tries to do everything for the children.
Yeah,
I
that
don't know
crazy
her
bitch.
character's name.
She's the one from Buffy
Uh,
the Vampire Slayer.
Gotcha.
I
Yeah,
don't.
that,
I
that
recognize her face, but I don't remember her name.
yeah. And that's when the radio starts talking to her. You
Yeah,
know,
and he's all like, "Wanda, who's doing this to you?" And then
exactly.
Cat Denny, no, Darcy. She's
Darcy
watching the
Lewis.
she and Wu are watching the feed, like the show that we were watching, and it skips, and
It
she's
skips
like,
completely.
What just happened?"
So
So
whoever was watching that the TV show, right? The signal that they've been getting, they didn't see the part where she cuts herself or she's bleeding. All of that has been like
yeah,
taken off.
yeah. So the stuff, I guess, that Wanda doesn't want the outside to see, she cuts out.
Hmm.
So now
Just like
kind of,
any other show, they cut it up and edit it and broadcast it later.
yeah. So now it's all starting to make sense, kind of, because you start thinking about, all right, so Wanda is doing this because I remember in that episode where Vision's coming down and it's like, something strange, Wanda, but I can't put my fingers on it. And Wanda's all like, huh. And then all of a sudden time rewinds and then Vision's like, hey, honey, because Wanda's like, I don't like this reaction.
Hmm.
But anyways, we're going to keep going on.
I
So,
like them young and dumb
yeah,
and full of
yeah. And, my God. So they get to the point where now they get to the episode where they see Monica Rambeau in there. And they're all like, okay, so this isn't another reality. She's in there. But is she playing? Like, is she playing, like, pretending and studying and trying to infiltrate? Or what is this? And so they're just
Yeah.
looking at her. And they start seeing, eventually they get to that scene where Wanda's all like, how did you know that my brother died? How did you know Ultron? But we start seeing what we didn't see.
Mhm.
Okay? After that part where it cuts outside to Vision and Vision's talking to the neighbors, we got to see what happened when Vision was talking to the fucking neighbors.
Exactly. So
I
that was pretty scary too.
It
So now
was,
all of a sudden it's been revealed that
yes.
Wanda can be a little fucking cunt.
Wanda has been doing this and she's conscious of it
Yeah.
this whole time. I don't know if she's lost her mind or someone is manipulating her, but here in this moment, she knows she's doing this. And she
Yeah.
realized this bitch is not from in here. She's in here trying to figure stuff out. Someone sent
Mhm.
her. She's an intruder. Goodbye. Dude, she fucking shot her through the wall. The wall broke and fucking broke through another wall and broke through the house. And then you see her fly out the way we saw her fly out at the end of that episode. But it's kind of weird there because I mean she doesn't have powers yet. She will eventually become a superhero. I think it'll happen. Monica Rambeau will become,
I want to
but
say it's Photon.
she's eventually going to become that character and get powers. But I don't think that's going to happen until Captain Marvel 2. She's being introduced now, but she doesn't have powers. So for her to go through walls and brick walls and other houses and objects and shit, I think she would have broken her back and her head
Yeah.
and everything. So it's kind of whatever. Unless it's not real and it's just
Yeah.
still imaginary. I don't know. She shot her out of the fucking bubble. Wanda is conscious of all this. Vision comes back, and when he comes back, Wanda turns around. Again, the scariest thing.
That was pretty damn scary too.
We see zombie Vision.
Pretty much.
The way he looked when Thanos killed him and he was gray and he was dead with a hole in his fucking
Forehead.
he's walking like that, talking like that, like a fucking zombie. It's scary as hell, dude.
It was so uncomfortable that she actually looked away for a minute
Yeah.
and
But she
I
fixed
guess
it.
try to gather herself and
Yeah.
like looked up again
And she
so she
fixed
can
it.
have like the vision of what she wants him to be.
Yeah.
No pun intended.
Yeah. And so she's conscious of it. She's making it, you know.
Crazy.
Hmm.
Yeah, she seemed pretty lucid, but a little off too. You gotta admit, she
She's
has.
definitely the bad guy, but I
Yeah,
still think someone's manipulating her.
there's definitely someone else in here that we haven't seen yet. The development of those characters.
Mm.
Again, we said this in past episodes that we definitely think that what's her name, Agnes, is the
Agatha Harkness.
is Agatha.
In Wanda's reality, it is Agnes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
But yeah, Agatha Harkness is definitely behind it. And
yeah,
there's a lot of things going on, but months. This was before the show even premiered, before there was promotion for it. There was some leaked photos that spilled on the internet.
yeah.
Unfortunately, they didn't spill on the United States or anyone who speaks English. Fucking internet. It was in Portuguese and Spain and
Mm-hmm.
some bullshit like that. And these images down here, now mind you, they're very bad quality.
Yeah.
We don't get the right resolution. It's almost like we're getting a snippet of thumbnails on a computer, right?
This is definitely a picture or a screen capture of a computer
Thumbnail,
desktop or
thumbnail.
or a thumbnail. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Of thumbnails of pictures. They didn't take the that I mean they probably rushed. They really wanted to take the pictures and get the fuck out of there, right?
Look, obviously, it's somebody who was on set and was working there and was secretly took the pictures either with their cell phone or a small little camera. And man, he's lucky he didn't get caught because you could go to jail for that shit, motherfucker. They don't play around in these studios. You fuck around like that, they'll fucking throw your ass maybe for a week or so, but they'll throw your ass in jail and take your phone or whatever you took the pictures with. You idiot. But thank God this idiot got away with it and we got
Mm-hmm.
to see these pictures. And it came out a long time ago. So when I saw these pictures, I was like, I don't think that's the show. But
Yeah.
then now we're seeing this, and it's a bunch of witches. And if you see there, Agnes, aka Agatha Harkness, is in the pictures, and some weird looking crone witches. And then there's Wanda, dressed in like blue and stuff. My question is this like the a reality that she fucking makes, or is this them taking Wanda to the past? Because Agatha Harkness is one of the original Salem witches from the Salem witch trials in the comics, and she managed to survive the burning and the what did they call it, the fucking killing of all the witches. She managed to survive, and she's been alive all these years or whatever the fuck. That's the thing about the comics. I don't know if that's going to be the story, but from these images, it looks like it is. So, is this
Yeah.
the past? Is Wanda reincarnated? She's been a witch in the past? Are they going to say some shit like that? What do you think?
Okay. So I've been reading, and it's hard for me to read in fucking Portuguese because it's not Spanish, but it's very similar. So from what there's a paragraph here that says, uh, and I'm gonna be taking my time here. Confirmado, look up. Okay, so it says here that it's been confirmed that now they're taking they're recording. That's how they say it. In the city of Salem, and they talk about Salem and what's Salem about. But what actually got me really excited was that in here, what they say is that Agatha Harkness is the mentor of Wanda Maximoff, and she's responsible for her to be Scarlet, and to unblock and learn her powers. Um, so that's what they're saying in this. I'm not saying that that's what
I
the
think
reality is
no,
of the
no, no.
show,
I no,
but
no. I think they're just saying what the comic book says. That sounds exactly like what the
probably.
comic book is. So he's just saying the story of Agatha Harkness in the comic books. So I'm wondering how they're gonna do it here, because obviously she's not her mentor, because we've seen she's learning from the Avengers. She's someone who's trying to manipulate her. She's obviously a fucking bad guy. The question is this the past? Is this Wanda's past, or is this something they made up and they're making Wanda believe that she was part of this?
Mm-hmm. Because I mean, they do look like on they're dressed up as the 1800s or
Yeah,
whatever the years of
this
the
is the
Salem.
Salem witch trials.
Yeah.
Let's just say this is the Salem witch trials.
Hmm.
Was Wanda reincarnated? I mean, is this something they're putting in her mind for her to believe, or is this real?
Yeah. So now we're at the point where we're thinking, well, is she being scammed in her way of thinking, to think that maybe this witch, uh, who is played by Catherine Hahn, or Han, or yeah, I think it's Han, is trying to make her believe that, hey, I helped you out, unlock all your powers, and do this for your own good. And I don't know if that's the card that they're going to be playing in the show. I'm not 100%, but yeah, dude, that's pretty cool. That's I honestly think that this is a look back at old school Russia. Maybe.
Old
I'm
school
not
Russia.
sure. Well, she's Russian, right? If this is the past, then it has to be old
No,
school
but
Russia.
she looks the same. She would be
Yeah.
little. If it was Russia, she would be a young girl.
Well, that's true.
Is
So
this
scratch
if
that
this
off.
was in
It's
her?
definitely yeah, this is an illusion then, obviously.
I think it is because look, we know she's a good guy, so someone's manipulating her. In this episode, she's the bad guy. And she lets you know. If you haven't seen this episode, you're watching this, you're up and down. Because I'm sorry, man, we just spoiled everything for you. And if you're watching this, it's because you already seen it, obviously. We're a spoiler channel, 100%. Anything you watch is you're gonna get spoiled. So don't even watch this if you don't like spoilers.
Mm-hmm.
We like motherfuckers who like spoilers, like we do. Um, anyways, we've known, like, but in this episode, she just comes out and says, "I'm the bad guy, and I know I'm the bad guy, and I'm happy here. Fuck off, leave me alone." So, but she's not like that. So someone made her like that.
Yeah.
Agatha Harkness has a part to do in it, Agnes, but is Mephisto still in the background? Didn't
I
you have a theory about one of the characters being Mephisto?
Yeah,
Tell
so
me why.
okay, so during the last episode that aired yesterday, we see how this agency Sword is taking a look at the characters that come on in the signal of the show that Scarlet is, showing. And they see that those are some missing people that they've been looking for them. So they start gathering their information, their ID, their past, and whatnot. So they start placing all of these pictures
On the
on a
wall.
wall,
Kind of like Josh
exactly,
Wheaton putting penises of vision
all over his back wall.
all over his wall. That son of a
The-
bitch. I bet you he took all those home and he has them all on his fucking. Like
yeah,
you walk into his house, they're all over his living room. Penis of
yeah.
vision. Vision penis. Robotic penises. Penis, penis,
The
penis.
2.0, the 5.0, the
5.0.
turbo,
Yeah.
all of those.
All of them. Fucking
So
sick.
we see that
Fuck.
one thing that we notice off the bat is that three of the people that are there in the actual wall where they have all the information, three of them don't have an actual ID. Two of them being Scarlet and Vision, because they already know who they are.
Well, duh.
They don't have an ID right next to them because they already know. The rest of the people do have an ID and some of their past. Now, the only one that doesn't have an ID right next to their profile picture or their screen capture of the show picture is Agatha.
Hmm.
So they don't have an actual ID for her. She might as well be someone who's been
Agnes.
living for centuries, or they just don't know who she is.
You're right. You're right. If she's from ancient times and she is a witch from the Salem witch trials, they wouldn't find modern records of this person
Yeah.
existing. She never had a social security number back then. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? They didn't take fingerprints back then. So she would really be, under the grid. She wouldn't be in the grid.
Exactly. So hopefully by the end of this show, we can gather what the information on her sheet of paper is, that because they do write something about her. We just can't really tell what it is because it's just basically just pause the episode and we notice that basically. So we'll hopefully gather some more information and see what that means or what is written there. Maybe it's just gibberish. You never know. But then again, it's Marvel and it's Disney. They probably did write something truthful in there. Another a character that doesn't have an ID or an actual sheet of paper with some information in there is that lady who's blonde, and I forget her character's name.
Yeah, me too. She's the one from Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Yeah, her.
Her. She used to be a demon, and I'm not gonna get into Buffy. Anyways, go on. Go on.
That's another character in there that does not come out in the wall. Not her picture, not her information, not her ID. She's missing.
Oh, I can't believe you fucking noticed that. Holy shit.
Okay, and her name is Emma Caulfield Ford. That's the actress's name. Emma Caulfield Ford. And just in case you guys were wondering.
Who cares? You're saying she's Mephisto?
I think so. I think she is Mephisto.
You know what?
They don't know shit.
She was being a real bitch.
Yeah.
To Wanda in that episode, and to everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
You know, maybe she's Mephisto. Wow, Mephisto's a lady. Yes, the devil would be a woman.
Exactly. Exactly.
Wow. Kevin Feige, cheers.
Cheers, my man. That's why he's the man.
That's why he's the man. You know, this episode, I think this was the best episode yet.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna be honest with you. The first episode was good because I've never seen anything like that. I mean, I have. You know, I've Bewitched. I've seen it, but it was fun seeing the Vision and her in it. The second episode, I was just like, didn't we do this? Didn't we do this just 30 minutes ago? Come on now. The third episode was better because I was like, all right, this is different. This episode is way different. I think this was the best episode yet. It's going to be amazing to see how they're going to tie this to Spider-Man, because I think Spider-Man comes out first, and then tie that to Doctor Strange and the multiverse.
Now, question for you. What do you think it's going to happen after this episode? Do you think that maybe they're going to take another character's perspective in order for them to time it out a little bit more and tie in some other things or story? This
is what and I wanted to get into this too. This is what I think is going to happen. So now we have to see maybe 2 episodes of the Wanda TV show. And then we're going to see another episode of the perspective from those 2 fucking episodes. They're going to follow this pattern. I think they are. So the next episode, we're back in another episode of WandaVision. And there's this guy, and his theory is, last week, we had talked about this, that Rodi Martin guy that reported... Rodi Martin. Who fucking reported that the actor from who would dub the Spanish voice of Evan Peters, Quicksilver in the X-Men movies, was asked by Marvel to come back and dub the voice of the actor Evan Peters, who's going to be in the WandaVision.
Now again, Evan Peters is a person who played what character in what movie?
Quicksilver in the X-Men movies.
Exactly. So it's not the same Quicksilver
it's
from
not
the Marvel
Aaron Taylor Johnson
movies.
It's not
him.
It's this guy. And so we know that in some way or some form, Evan Peters, the actor, is going to be in this fucking show in WandaVision. It's going to be in fucking.
And that Rodri Martin guy
dubbed the voice. And he dubbed the voice for Evan Peters.
Yeah.
You know, for Evan Peters. This is what I think was going to happen. We saw fucking Wanda get pregnant fast, give birth fucking fast, and then have twins fucking fast. Really fast. This all happened in one episode. The way she got pregnant fast and had the kids, these kids are going to grow up fast. Now, in the comic books, Billy and Tommy become they're young Avengers, and Billy and Tommy are fucking Speed and Wiccan. One of the boys has powers like the mom. and the other boy has powers like her brother. He's fast and shit. That guy on the internet had a theory. He said Rodi Martin dubbed the voice for Evan Peters. And Evan Peters is going to be in fucking WandaVision. But Evan Peters is not going to be Quicksilver. He's going to be one of the kids.
Oh,
And
shit.
so I'm all like, that's a good theory.
That's a good theory. That is a
And
good
I
theory.
think it's a smart theory. Because why would Marvel want to bring another Quicksilver? It's going to confuse people. It's going to confuse dumb people who are not geeks. It's going to confuse a lot of dumb people. I think this guy's has a point, man. I think that Evan Peters is going to be one of the kids, and these kids are going to grow up fast. The way they fucking popped out of her fucking belly, they're going to grow up fast, and they're going to be teenagers. I don't know who's playing the other fucking kid, but I think that's what the next episode's going to be. And I think that guy's right, and I think that's what the next episode will be. What do you think the next episode's going to be?
I
Well,
think I'm more inclined to that.
I don't want to
Theory.
spoil it, but this
But
is a
we're spoilers.
spoiler. Marvel already posted a fucking preview of next week's episode. And in that preview, we see like there's gonna be now superhero fighting. And they show Scarlet Witch. They show a fire, something on fire. And Scarlet Witch, her fucking, her red lights up and she starts flying. And they show the Vision and he's going like towards somewhere. And then we see at the very end of this clip, we see the Vision getting out of the bubble. And when he gets out of the bubble, when he steps out, he goes, and he kind of like starts, he makes a movement like he's falling, like he got weak, like, and it stopped there, like some little fucking teaser. And I'm just like, from what I saw, because they cut these teasers in a way where you think stuff's gonna happen, but it's different. I don't know. I'm just speculating. I think Vision figures it out that this bitch is creating this shit and I'm trapped in here and he tries to escape. That's what I think.
The Vision itself try to escape.
Like he figures it out because he was figuring it out in the other episodes.
Yeah.
He was,
Yeah.
but she rewinded his fucking head or whatever she does and everything went back to normal.
It's interesting because I wonder if like that happens, if he's trying to get out, will he automatically die? Like, wow.
Yeah. And we see like he gets weak, like they cut it right away, but you see he's almost like he's like like about to fall.
Oh,
So
you know what?
imagine we see like he turns dead, and when the Agents of sword goes, there's the Vision's body with a fucking hole in it and it's all gray and shit.
That would have meant that she actually took the corpse of the Vision
from Wakanda, because that's where he's at.
Yeah, I know.
I'm pretty sure he's at Wakanda, the dead body. The Wakandans, they like technology, they want to learn. You know what I'm saying?
Or you never know, maybe they were on the verge of actually making him turn back on or whatever. Well, yeah, let's just say turn back on because he is a fucking machine. I was gonna say alive. But imagine if they were almost there to turn him back on, and then Wanda was the one that fucking took him and sent him somewhere else. And at the same time he's trying to wake up and he's becoming lucid. I don't know. That could be one thing. But what I was gonna say is that there is a scene on some of the trailers and previews where the Vision and Wanda are dressed up as their old school characters. This means only one thing.
That's the next episode.
It's Halloween.
Yeah.
They're trick-or-treating.
And they're gonna take their kid. They're gonna
witches.
And they're gonna take but she's not dressed like that. She's not the witch. She's dressed as a Scarlet Witch from the comics. And they're gonna take.
But it would make sense that maybe
take the kids trick or treating. The kids are gonna be bigger. They're not gonna be teenagers yet, so they're gonna be small kids. When they're teenagers, I think that's when we'll see Evan Peters. And like the guy said on the internet, I didn't say it. Like the guy said on the internet, he's probably playing one of their kids. He's gonna be Speed. I think he's right.
I think. This is what I think. Okay, so I think Scarlet, something's gonna happen that I don't. You never know. Maybe the kids get lost in the middle of the woods, and then she's trying to find the kids, right? And then she sees a circle of witches doing their thing, during Halloween, right? Let's just pretend that's what happens, right? She enters in a different kind of realm. Like she almost like goes either things or remembers something, and that's when she notices. Or maybe they're maybe you see both Agnes and Mephisto talking in secrecy, and that's when she like
If this
notices that
look,
this happens.
if this
I don't
is
know.
if this is Mephisto, I don't think we're gonna see Mephisto at all. I think
Yeah.
Mephisto will pop out at the end of Spider-Man.
Hmm. No, I don't think it's gonna
Like,
be
look,
Mephisto
there might be,
materializing.
and I'll take it back. There might be an end of credit scene at the end of this show, the very last episode. I think there'll be an end of credit scene at the end of the show, and we'll see Mephisto,
Hmm.
and we'll that's how we'll be introduced to him. And then at the end of Spider-Man, because we're not Spider-Man is not gonna have Mephisto in it, I promise you. But at the end of Spider-Man, the end of credit scene is gonna reveal something about Mephisto being, somehow he also had something to do with what Peter was doing, you know, and that's gonna lead into Doctor Strange, because Doctor Strange that's who's gonna battle Mephisto. You're not gonna see Spider-Man battle
Yeah.
Mephisto.
No.
Spider-Man's not going to be in the Doctor Strange movie. It's going to be the Scarlet Witch and Doctor Strange in that movie. The Scarlet Witch is probably going to be in that movie because she's going to snap out of it. Doctor Strange is going to snap her out of it, and she's going to figure out, like, who the fuck was doing this to me? And they're both going to realize it's Mephisto, and that's probably who the fucking bad guy of Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, is going to be in. As
Yeah.
I think that's what they're going to do.
Yeah. No, yeah, no, for sure, for sure. I was just thinking, Halloween, and then you see witches. Maybe they're gonna put something weird in there where this makes a connection of some sort. But
Yeah,
that's
maybe
about it.
these
I don't think
pictures.
I don't think you're gonna, like you mentioned. I don't think we're gonna see Mephisto as Mephisto. We're gonna see that lady playing Mephisto. But like I think that's how Agnes and that lady are gonna be talking to each other, just to pretend they're still like part of the people that live in that town. I don't know. Could be.
Yeah, I mean, anything's possible. None of us have been close to figuring out Kevin Feige's brain. Now, Josh Wheaton, we know what's on his brain.
Yep. Mechanical
Penis.
penis.
Penis, penis, penis.
Hey, like shit like this, make sure you like and subscribe to our channel and check out the full podcast on the link to the right, where we discuss more topics we don't post on these short videos. Peace.